I want to introduce you to an aha moment I had years ago on the motorcycle range teaching beginners, and then more recently, something that I tied that into for upshifting my own life. So, motorcycle riding, it's all about trusting your balance, trusting your brakes, trusting your motorcycle. And the trouble is that a lot of people get stuck, like we feel stuck in life on the motorcycle at a certain point. They just have a lot of trouble getting beyond first gear. They just end up going slower and losing their balance, putting their feet down, getting frustrated, and second gear seems like some wild, off the charts, impossible thing to get to. I'm John, your Mindset Moto Guy. Strap on your helmet and put up your kickstand as we ride into another episode uncovering the parallels between the world of riding motorcycles and the ultimate vehicle, your very own identity. Let's go riding. The key to a breakthrough: trusting your motorcycle, trusting yourself. So I was on the range one day, many times actually, and I have students that would struggle when we would tell them to get into second gear. We'd show them how to do it. We'd do a demonstration of it, made it look nice and simple and non-worrisome, and they would struggle getting moving. They couldn't get it up into second gear. They were losing their balance. They'd wander off track. They'd go through all kinds of crazy stuff, and they would lose all the basics right back to the very beginning sometimes. And, we'd struggle to give them coaching tips on this and that. And what I finally realized after lots of times of watching this and trying to work it out with students is it had nothing to do with shifting. Shifting wasn't the problem. The problem was that they weren't ready to shift, and that was because of the couple exercises before this. These are the exercises that were such critical components, the foundation skills: getting the bike moving, getting the balance of the motorcycle, feeling that motorcycle glide and drift under, and just go underneath you with balance that would allow you to feel relaxed and comfortable. And actually squeezing the brakes and feeling feedback from the brakes. So that was the magic key, was the feedback. And the students that hadn't felt feedback and didn't trust the brakes, didn't trust not, going faster, didn't trust second gear wasn't going to take them completely out of control because they hadn't had enough feedback from the motorcycle yet to understand that they could stop it once they got into the second gear. Second gear on most training bikes will take you 15 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour if you really go crazy. But they wouldn't do those things because they didn't have feedback. So they had no trust. In that same way, I wanted to talk about why we hesitate, why we feel stuck. And that was the thing that I started to had this revelation a few years ago of realizing that I wasn't upshifting. I was stuck. I was sitting at high revs, stuck in first gear. And that's what I was looking at. So the idea here is getting your mind in the right way and your right mindset. We heard that word, mindset, actually setting your mind like a thermostat. So the idea here is you got to get feedback in order to move forward and progress in whatever you're doing, whether you're riding a motorcycle or whether you're building a business or creating a relationship or getting better at your job, whatever the case is. You get the drift. If you don't have any feedback, how can you actually make decisions and improve and get more comfortable and create new pathways? That's the idea here. And a lot of that comes right back down to the very beginning and the very basic foundation skills here. So we all have watched tons of videos. We've read all kinds of self-help and shelf-help books. And everybody that makes it look so easy and how they've made $1 billion in 5 minutes and they haven't done anything and all these things. And then, why are we so stuck? It all looks so easy. It looks easy on, as people look at motorcycling and say, we make it look easy. Well, it is easy once you've done these foundation things, you've gotten the feedback, you've spent the time, you've put in the effort. But everything around us is just bombarding us with all these messages of the fact that things are so simple that we can do them and it's no problem and we can take all this massive action. Well, the fact is that without the feedback, our identity doesn't allow us to grow and step up into that higher gear and upshift our life because we're nervous, we're fearful, we're worried about what people will think, we're worried about what we'll think, And then maybe we have taken some action and it didn't go exactly according to plan. And now we turn on ourselves and get annoyed and frustrated, and then things just get worse instead of better. And we never really evaluate why they went that way and why things didn't go the way we planned. So you're never going to have the nerve to upshift if you don't actually get into some action and get some feedback. A mentor of mine years ago said it'd be like trying to steer a parked car. You can wiggle the steering wheel back and forth as hard as you want. Nothing's going to happen until you get moving. There's no feedback. If you've ever seen somebody try to park a car, they make a big steering input and then they back up and then they stop and they make a big steering input and they have to go the other way. They overcorrect because they don't wait to see what's happening. They don't wait to get feedback. All right, we see this in all different aspects of our life. So the idea here is, instead of making those big inputs and those big actions, we need to really slow down a second and just start taking some real small, super easy, simple actions. Things that we know without a shadow of a doubt we can accomplish, we can beat, no problem. They're simple, they fit into our day. We don't have to make broad, huge changes in life. So I heard a story about a guy one time who wanted to get fit and he wanted to get into shape. And so what he started doing is every day he'd get in his car and he would drive to the gym. And he would just sit in the parking lot, the gym, for a few minutes, and then he'd drive home. He did that for a couple days. Next time, one day after about 3 or 4 days, he got out, walked over toward the door, stood out on the sidewalk in front of the place, went back to his car, went home. Next couple days after that, he went inside, saw the people, said hi to a couple people, maybe got a drink of water at the water fountain, hung out for a few minutes, and then left and went back home. Day after day, every single day he did this. Everybody thought he was nuts. The people at the gym thought he was nuts. Only people that didn't worry about it were the gym owners. They said, hey, he's not using the gym, but he's still paying us, so we don't care. But every day, and then suddenly he'd go in and he'd get inside, and he'd go in and he'd walk on the treadmill for 5 minutes. And then he'd pack up and leave. He wouldn't break a sweat. But the key was that he went every single day to the gym. He was getting feedback of doing some new action, some new habit. He was building this habit. He was winning every single day by simply driving to the gym. And then he was upping the ante a little bit each day. Okay, it's like going a little bit faster or braking a little bit harder on your motorcycle when you're practicing each time. You're not going to brake suddenly very hard because either something bad's going to happen or you scare yourself, or then you're not going to want to do any of it. Little incremental things that you can manage, that you can handle, is really the key here. So eventually he started working out, and then all of a sudden he had this habit of going to the gym, and it felt weird if he didn't get up and get in his car and drive to the gym. That's when you know you've got it figured out. And the feedback was, hey, wait, why aren't we going to the gym, if he hadn't gotten in the car to go to the gym? So suddenly that was the weird thing. And suddenly, after a certain amount of time, he got into really great shape and was feeling it and got real fit. But it all started out with a simple thing that he could accomplish, that he knew he could accomplish, no problem. Who can't get up and drive to the gym and drive home and not even commit to getting out of your car? All right, and then just little incremental steps. So looking at this, figuring out what it is that you can do to get some feedback. How can you trust yourself and learn to trust yourself by doing some small actions and getting some feedback and celebrating the fact that you did those things and you got that feedback. And they're tiny little wins. Excuse me. And all those tiny little wins compound. I did a video years ago about making your bed every morning, getting out of bed and making your bed. Well, you know what? I've done it so many times for so long now that I come out of the bathroom in the morning after I get freshened up, and if I look at the bed and it's not made, I feel really weird. And then I go over and make the bed. I don't ever leave my bedroom without my bed made. And it's just something that it took me some forethought to make sure I did it. I used to be of the old, hey, I'm going to get back into it tonight. Why the heck should I bother to waste time making it? Well, now it's weird for me not to make it because I made those little simple things. And that seems like a simple little thing, but it's a win. Before I ever step foot out of my bedroom in the morning, I've won. I've accomplished something. Seems petty, but it's really important. So practicing this stuff so that you feel really strange when you get it wrong is the key. Excuse me. So, years ago, probably about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I had a business mentor, and I sent everybody out this big thing, and it said, take massive action. It was a picture of him looking at you. It's a neat picture, but the idea is take massive action, take massive action. Well, massive action isn't going to help. Massive action is you can do it for a little while, and then you're going to get frustrated, something's going to happen, and you're going to just implode because you're going to get doing it. If you go to the gym the first day and you do every machine to the nth degree and forever, and you spend 2 hours ripping through the gym machines, you're not going to be able to walk the next day, and you're never going to want to go back to the gym again. And if let me know if this sounds familiar. I know I've done it. How many people do it in January? They make all these resolutions, and the gym is busy as all get out for the entire month of January, and then you go to February and it's a ghost town. And there's about the same 4 or 5 people that come to the gym at the same time every day finally come back because they haven't been able to get a parking spot since all the month-long folks came. So taking massive action isn't the answer. It's not the feedback you're looking for. It's actually the worst idea, because until you actually spend some time taking small, achievable actions and build yourself up with confidence and skill, once you have those skills, then by all means, that is the key. Taking a lot of action, taking massive amounts of action, but not until you actually know what the heck it is you're supposed to be doing. All right. If you just go out there, aiming all over the place and doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and you're working, but you're not getting anything done, you're not helping yourself. And the same thing with the motorcycle. If you're just going out there and you're riding in and doing this, and you're doing all these different things, and you're trying to learn 16 different skills in the same moment, you're not going to learn anything. You're just going to get frustrated. So be careful with going crazy with this stuff. Do little tiny actions and take your time and practice things, not until you get them perfect. Practice them until you figure them out, and then keep practicing them until it becomes weird when you do it wrong. As we put the side stand down on another thrilling episode of the Upshift Your Life podcast, remember this: life's challenges are a lot like those unexpected twists and turns on the open road. The key to mastering them lies in mastering your own identity. If you've enjoyed today's ride and want to go on more of these mindset adventures, remember to hit that follow button so you don't miss a single ride with us. And join our free community at upshiftyourlife.com for daily tips, events, and much more. Until next time, this is John, your Mindset Moto Guy, encouraging you to ride well and ride often so you can keep the rubber side down and keep upshifting your life.